During the Trump administration, immigration enforcement intensified. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, conducted raids in homes, workplaces, and communities across the country. The political arguments are loud. Philosophy asks quieter and more dangerous questions. Let me be fair before I'm critical. A serious argument for aggressive enforcement goes like this. A nation has the right, maybe the obligation, to enforce its borders. Laws mean nothing if they aren't enforced. Selective enforcement creates chaos and unfairness, including for illegal immigrants. From that perspective, ICE raids aren't cruelty, they're consistency. They're about order, deterrence, sovereignty. Philosophy doesn't ignore that argument. It asks what it costs. And part of that cost is children. Children detained with parents, children placed into government custody, children who come home from school to find a missing parent. They're not being punished, they're being collateralized. And part of that cost is human life. In recent enforcement operations, deaths have been reported, including René Good and Alex Pretti, who was killed in a federal enforcement incident reported this week. Whatever side you're on, those aren't abstractions. Those are names. Those are families. Policy didn't pull the trigger, but policy put people in the room. I should say something clearly, because it matters. My mother was an immigrant. I'm not saying that to shut down the disagreement. I'm saying it because it makes this impossible to treat as abstract. When you know someone on the other side of a policy, you don't get to talk about it like it's just math. There's no quote from modern American politicians that copies Adolf Hitler word for word. That's not how history repeats itself. It repeats through logic. When leaders describe groups as an invasion, talk about poison or corruption, and frame fear as patriotism, philosophy recognizes a recurring moral shortcut. Oscar Wilde once said, "Patriotism is the virtue of the vicious." He wasn't attacking love of country. He was warning that loyalty becomes dangerous when it excuses cruelty. And to be clear, this isn't calling anyone Hitler, and it isn't denying a nation's right to enforce laws. It's asking whether morality disappears the moment enforcement gets uncomfortable. This is one of those moments in American history people like to believe they'd recognize if they'd lived through it. They wouldn't. This is pivotal moment where silence isn't neutrality, it's permission. And history doesn't turn on the loudest people in power, it turns on the people who stayed quiet because they were afraid of bullies. There are really only two solutions to this whole thing. One is fear, and the other is responsibility. This is the Mortgage Guide Philosophy Series. Thank you for watching.